Hello everyone, it's just Tom here again. I'm going to do another little video, this time on some ladies' brooches, some jewellery that they would have worn in the 1920s and earlier. And I've got quite a few brooches, but I'm only going to pick 6 that I think are quite pretty looking and give you some information on them. Hope you enjoy. So I'll just show you the 6 that I've chosen today, and these are them. And we're going to start with this one here. And so I'll put up some pictures to let you see what they look like, and I'll do a little talk on each one. So the first one is a marquisite brooch. This one's etched with marquisite stones and they shimmer in the light. And if you remember that at the time that these would be worn, there would be candlelight. And so they would shine and sparkle in the candlelight. There's 2 stones in the middle of this racket, which are ruby stones. And many vintage pieces used a central ruby or a ruby paired with a pearl to depict the tennis ball. Marquisite became widely popular as a substitute for diamonds during the Victorian, Art Deco and Edwardian periods, where marquisite was frequently used as a diamond substitute. This one hasn't got any hallmarks on it that I can find, so I'm not sure what date this would have been. The locking clasp has a secondary secure locking device, which is turned over the pin as shown here. So this was the first one that I was talking about, and you can see that it sparkles quite a little bit. And the second one is going to be this one here. So you can see there are a lot of similarities. They're covered in marquisite stones, but this one has the little pearl that you see as the second tennis ball. So as I mentioned, this is a similar brooch, but this one has the ruby, but it also has the pearl in the middle of the strings depicting the tennis ball. This one also doesn't have a hallmark, but both of these brooches would have been around the eras mentioned before, which are the Victorian or Edwardian and Art Deco period. So the third little brooch is this one, which I'll put pictures up of each one as I said before. So this one is a flat top racket, and it has the little fishtail handle at the bottom. So I'll show you a picture of the racket that's in my collection, and this is based on that racket. And this racket shape tennis brooch was popular in tennis brooches. You can see the ball is depicted by a round metal attachment. It's not a ruby or a pearl as in the other ones. And this shape was taken from the early 20th century wooden tennis rackets, and it featured a split fishtail shape handle similar to the Demon racket in my collection. Again, there's no hallmark on this one, but it would have been around the 1920s where this racket was designed. So the next brooch I'm going to do is this little one here. It's a brooch with 2 tennis rackets, and it has a net in the middle, and you can just see on top of the net is a little ball, and that's quite a pretty little brooch. So this brooch, as you can see, is a combination of 2 rackets. It's a net and also a little ball. The rackets are joined at the butt with the net in between them, and the ball is seen sitting on the center of the net at the top. There are hallmarks on this one showing the manufacturer, the standard mark, the assay office mark, and the date letter. So as you can see in this little photograph here, it has P and T, an anchor, a line, and the letter B in lowercase. The maker's mark is the P and T stamp, and this indicates a piece that was manufactured by Pierce and Thompson. They were a prominent silversmithing firm in Birmingham in England. And the standard mark, which is the walking line, this indicates the purity of the silver. So sterling silver, which is 0.925, is represented by a walking line for items that are assayed in England. The assay office mark, which is an upright anchor, identifies where the silver was tested and hallmarked. For Pierce and Thompson, this is almost always the upright anchor for the Birmingham assay office. The date letter that you can see here is a specific letter in an artistic font that tells you the exact year the item was assayed. In this case, a lowercase b in a distinct rectangular shield with a pointed base indicates 1901. So just to summarize that, this little badge is created and made in 1901 by a Birmingham company, Pierce and Thompson, and it is sterling silver of 0.925 quality. So this little brooch that you see now, this is black, all black. This would have been associated in some cases with mourning jewellery, so a remembrance of someone who had passed. But in this case, it's just the material that they would have made mourning jewellery from, which has been designed into this brooch. This particular brooch has nothing to do with mourning or remembering someone who's passed. So this is an interesting and well detailed antique Victorian tennis brooch. As you can see, it features the sculpted cuffed sleeve leading to an intricately carved hand holding a classic wood style tennis racket. It has an old C-type clasp and a pin fastener that is brass. So you can see here, it's just a brass letter, a brass shaped C, and this just pushes into it like so. So as mentioned, this is all black, and what it is, it's carved from bog oak or vulcanite, and then it was further lacquered in black. They were durable fossilized or hardened materials popularized in the Victorian era as alternatives to jet. So jet was the material that was made for mourning jewellery. I've got text on the back of this one, and that can be seen as the letters A-T-E-N-T, but I think it says patent, and the P is no longer visible. So the last one I'm going to show today is this extremely nice brooch. Again, I'll put pictures up of this. So this brooch is from Czechoslovakia, and it shows a really nice lady's face in cream colorings, and she's wearing a bonnet that you can see is tied with ribbons. And this bonnet was popular from the 1890s to the 1950s. So in looking at the bonnet, it appears to be similar to the traditional dress that was worn in Czechoslovakia, and the brooch itself would be from around the early 1900s. The rear of the brooch has a pin fixture and is only marked Czechoslovakia, but in their language. It's not in English, it's whatever the characters are in Czechoslovakian to say the word Czechoslovakia. And I find this to be an extremely pretty brooch, but it's quite a delicate little item as well, so it has to be careful to be put on and off. So as I said, I have quite a few ladies' brooches and all sorts of badges and pins, but I just picked these 6 out because I thought they were the prettiest ones to look at. Okay, so that's today's little video. I hope you enjoyed looking at these brooches. They're really nice. I keep looking out for more, but I do have quite a few of them. I'll put up a picture of the other ones just to let you see that there's another about 14 or 15 of them on a little display stand. I might get round to putting some of them up in a few months' time or in a future video anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I will be doing the Wimbledon item that I promised for next week. It's quite an interesting piece, and it'll just be on that one item. And then we can start watching Wimbledon, which is starting on the 29th of June. You may have noticed that I said 29th of July in my last video, but that was a mistake on my part, so I apologise for that. And so other than that, I hope you're keeping well, and we'll catch up on the next video. Bye.